because the camera isn't rolling.
Okay, so then I gotta do that again? All right, I would like to formally call the meeting to order. What we will do is we will start the actual council meeting, and then in comments from the chair, we'll just use number 3 as a means to do the council debate. So with that, call to order has happened, and Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Camara, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Please put your right hand over your heart. If you're a veteran, you may salute the flag, and please take off your hats. Hand over heart. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, I'm a daughter of a veteran, so I count.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and do roll call. Madam Secretary, please.
Okay, one second. Okay. Okay. Mr. Thomas.
Here.
Mr. Benjamin.
Here.
I think I'm here. Ms. Raines.
Here.
Jason Ackerman.
Here.
Or the,
Mr. Then.
the other night.
Mr. Camara.
Here.
Wow, almost a year ago she came into
Mr. De La Cuesta.
Here.
Mr. Friedman. Ms. Havard. Here. Mr. Hendry.
Here.
Mr. Lazaruka. I said that wrong.
He's excused. He had operation.
Oh, no, another one. That one too.
Yeah, I got it.
Mr. Lynn.
Here.
Mr. Martin is out sick. He called to let me know.
Yeah.
In February.
And Mr. Marati next
Yes.
to me. Yes, Ms. Meyer.
my room after
Here.
her.
Mr. Knoll.
Here. Why not?
Ms. Patton also just spoke to me. Her husband had surgery today and she's home taking care of him. It was kind of serious, but they let him go home. So she's home. Is she okay? What happened? Sort of. I didn't get all the details.
We're just doing roll call. Why?
Mr. Robbins
Yes.
and Ms. Gelman. Yes. We have a quorum.
All right, beautiful. So, comments from the chair, the president. Comments from the chair, section 3 of our agenda. We're going to use this for the council debate. I am going to turn it over to our elections chairman, Mr. Jeffrey Lynn, to start off the debate. Mr. Lynn, you are recognized.
Okay, well, I wanted to just hear you all gossip.
Excuse me. Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to thank all of the new candidates who have come here tonight to speak. We greatly appreciate your participation and your commitment to our neighborhood. We have 4 new candidates, by which I mean people who are not already sitting here with us tonight. The first one of those is Ms. Doris Anderson, who's running for religious institution representative. And as I've explained to you before, what we'd like you to do is come up, give a 2-minute introduction of yourself. The president will ask you some questions, and anyone else who wants to ask questions can ask questions, and then you can give a closing statement. So there are 4 of you. I'm going to start with Ms. Anderson. Again, she's running for religious institution representative, which is a seat that's currently held by Mr. Cameron. So Ms. Anderson, come on up.
All right. Doris Anderson, you're recognized.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Doris Anderson, and I'm running for religious representative, and my church is right there on the corner, United Methodist Church. And the reason I want to run is because I have compassion for the youth and, the people of Van Nuys, and I come to love the city. And whatever, if I got the position, whatever I can do to help that is what exactly legally and lawfully in my power I would do.
Very good.
Questions?
We're gonna go down the list. Okay, so you want to group it by the seats?
However you want to do it, Mr. President, should I just call off the next candidate?
Sure, let's just go down the list for opening statements.
All right, the next office is Resident Representative Zone 1. We have two candidates, new candidates for that, Mr. Brian Edelman and Mr. Jeremy Pessoa. That is a seat currently held by Ms. Pop. And so I would like to ask Mr. alphabetically speaking, Mr. Edelman, to come to the podium.
Thank you. I didn't know if I needed to be recognized or not yet, but
No? Go ahead, you're recognized.
thank you. Again, my name's Brian Edelman.
There you go.
Okay, good, thank you. Brian Edelman, I'm in Zone 1, currently on Sherman Way near Sepulveda. I basically got interested because one of my coworkers actually is a representative over in Los Feliz and convinced me that might be able to do some good.
One of your co-workers is what? I'm sorry, I didn't really
Is
read.
a representative over in Los Feliz.
Oh, Las Vegas, okay.
Yes. And I said, well, why not? Couldn't hurt. That was about it.
All right,
Any questions, I guess?
we're gonna go down the list of questions. This is just opening statements.
Sure.
So, next up, we're gonna call the incumbents up too, right? I mean, Mr. Camara,
Yes, let's go. Right, let Mr. Camara go and again.
then just go down the list.
Right.
What are you running for?
Same seat.
Hello, Board. I've been with you since 2009. I'm an incumbent. I was considering about 6 months to a year ago of finishing this job here, but I enjoy it so much and I made a lot of good friends around here. I don't want to lose anyone. So once again, my name is John Camara, and I'm an incumbent for the religious seat. And I hope you guys accept me to continue on the board. Thank you.
Okay, and that's the religious seat. Going back to the resident representative Zone 1, our other new candidate who's with us tonight is Mr. Jeremy Pessoa.
Can you spell your last name for me, please, sweetheart?
Pessoa.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jeremy Pessoa, and this is my first time running for office. I'm a resident of Van Nuys, and I've been a resident for over 5 years now. I'm in Zone 1. And I have worked in the tech industry for nearly 4 years now. My area of expertise is business-to-business sales. I provide technology consulting services to small and medium-sized businesses throughout the San Fernando Valley. My academic background is English and political science. And I want to run for neighborhood council because I believe that this is grassroots democracy at its very finest, and this is where we can make changes and improvements to our community for our families and families to come.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeremy.
And Mr. President, the incumbent for that seat is, of course, Jeanette Pop.
Jeanette, would you prefer to?
May I sit here, please?
Please.
Thank you so much. That makes it a little easier. Then that way I can't be accused of trying to get the sympathy vote. My name is Jeanette Hopp. I am a candidate in the election of members to the Van Nuys Neighborhood Council. The election referenced above will be held on, you don't need to know that part. My qualifications include 25 years as a volunteer for LAUSD in various positions, such as Schoolside Council President, President of Region 4, District Advisory Council Officer, inaugural member and officer of the Parent Collaborative. I am a community activist and advocate. I have worked for the City and County of Los Angeles in the election process for more than 30 years, most notably as an inspector for the past 20 years or so. I am a firm believer in the philosophy that you cannot complain unless you get involved and help affect change. I've been a member of the VNNC for going on 4 years. I have been an officer for 3. I am passionate, I am concerned, and I care. I have been active in fighting graffiti, a never-ending problem in our neighborhood. I have been a member of many committees, and I am a budget advocate for the City of Los Angeles, where we advise the city on the best items for which they should concentrate their budget. I am trying to make them accountable for their expenditures and projects. I have been attempting to stop sex trafficking and prostitution along with this board that is common in our neighborhood. I have fought to close the proliferation of illegal pot shops in our neighborhood. I have been active in tackling the tremendous problem of homelessness. I have lived in Van Nuys 3 months shy of 40 years.
Wow.
It is for these reasons I hope you will take the time to vote for me. I would like to continue my fight on behalf of our community. This is the first time that I've had anyone run against me. It's interesting. The timing could not be worse. I am handicapped following a serious accident 3 days prior to Christmas in 2014. I suffered the loss of my lower left leg, broken vertebrae in my back, multiple broken ribs, shattered left hip, and so on. It is extremely difficult for me to get around a campaign, but I care enough to try. Your vote for me would help to ensure my continued efforts on your behalf and that of our community. And I wanted everyone to know this is strictly a volunteer position. No one gets paid. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have our next candidate is the at-large resident representative seat 1, which is unopposed because that's Ms. Savard's seat and she is not filed. And our new candidate for that position is Mr. Jacob Lynn.
Yay!
You hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. Well, hello. Many of you already know me. I've spoken before this council before. The reason why I want to run for this position, it's quite simple, really. This council, for better or for worse, it's considered something of a joke amongst many. We are known for being ineffectual. We are known for just running rampant, for just being clowns, if you will, and it's ridiculous. See, I really want to join this council is for a couple reasons. I want to instill some fiscal responsibility that I feel is something that's, to be blunt, sort of lacking. There are issues, the fact that some decorum would also be nice as well. And also the fact that our meetings don't run long as well. But also, a bigger thing is this. We can acknowledge that there are larger issues in this city. You know, there are activist groups and advocate groups that really do really good work. Okay, groups like Black Lives Matter, the Anti-LAPD Spine Coalition, the Mary Magdalene Foundation when it comes to prostitution. These are groups that need representation. They need a platform to their voice to be heard. I think that we can provide that platform because they are trying to actually help this city. And like all of us here, we want to help our area. And the thing is this, we need to acknowledge the local facts that limit us. The neighborhood councils, by default, are designed to be toothless by the LA City Council. But you know what? Necessity is the mother of invention. You can do a lot with very little. And you know what? We need to use those resources to the fullest ability. I mean, I'm hearing asinine ideas like reducing Van Nuys Boulevard to 2 lanes, things like that. We need to put stop to this. We need to let the city council know that we don't want these things. Of course, if you do, that's fine. But some of us don't. You know, that's what democracy is. We all have a voice. Do we not? See, that's what I'm against. Things like this. Things that don't make sense. Things that only benefit a few people, or things that only, make sense in the twisted mind of, a councilperson that maybe doesn't have the best interest at heart of the people they're supposed to represent. That's what I'm against. Thank you.
Bravo.
I would like to point out, Mr. President, that we have a candidate for nonprofit community-based organization or service club representative seat 1, that's a mouthful, Rocio Rodriguez. She's not able to be here. Ms. Rodriguez, you're not here now.
She might be up later.
But she said she would be here later.
Did you want to speak on her behalf, or?
Yes, I worked with her.
Okay.
I just started in the Van Nuys office. She was in charge of that, but now she's only in Conejo Park.
I have no objection to that.
Fine with me.
In candidate forums, they send proxies. It's no problem at all. Come introduce both of you and her.
Good evening. Good evening to the audience. Thank you. My name is Adriana Manjares, and I started working for the Family Source Center right up the street over here, and it's sponsored by the New Economics for Women in the City of Los Angeles. And I'm the Community Resource Coordinator, so I'll be doing community outreach and publicity to let the community know of the services that are offered by the Family Source Center. And but we want to stress 2 goals, 2 of the objectives of New Economics for Women, which are to help people advance economically by helping them save money on bus passes, housing, and any other services that can help them keep a few more of their money at the end of the month. and also to help the youth advance academically. And we're very literally stressing that and making sure mathematically that we see that those goals advance. So we're not just offering services, but those services are comprehensive, holistic, where we keep track whether it is making an impact economically or academically for the families. So, so my job will be to put those two objectives out in the community a lot clearer, so they don't think it's just one more community service organization. So Rocio Rodriguez used to work here at the Van Nuys office as the community resource coordinator, but now she's only going to be working at the Canoga Park Family Resource Center. And so I just wanted to take this opportunity to introduce myself, because I will be attending your meetings and working with other agencies or organizations in the community.
We have a question.
Yes.
It's
She no
up
longer
to,
qualifies if she works.
It's
in
up to
Florida,
Dawn.
but she lives here. Does she live here?
I didn't ask her where does she live,
Yeah, we
but she
know
has
that.
worked.
But she's coming by at 8 o'clock, right? She's on her way?
She told me yes, she would be
All right.
here.
Okay, so
All right.
we'll grill her then.
Okay then. I just want to take an opportunity to let you know we're here and.
Thank you, Adriana.
Services.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Mr. President?
Yeah, and that's the seat that Charles Robbins holds right now?
Yes, that's
Okay.
what I was going to say. So, if Robbins wants to say a word or two?
Good evening, board. Good evening, guests.
Good evening.
Charles Robbins with the Village Family Services. The Village Family Services has been embedded in the San Fernando Valley for 16 years, providing safety and permanency to children and youth. And I am a commissioner appointed by Sheila Kuehl on ICANN, the Interagency Council on Child Abuse and Neglect. And our focus is to make sure that young people have a safe, healthy, and productive environment to live in. And I want to make sure that Van Nuys offers that kind of support, and the participation on the VNNC is enlightening, and I am honored to be able to run. Thank you.
Before we go any further, let me just say, is there anyone in the audience who's here for the file to run that we've not already called on? No, then I guess we have heard from everyone.
So, I mean, what we can do, if it pleases the council, is the incumbents or the people that are already, that aren't running against anyone.
George, should I make a statement, or is there someone, I'm running unopposed?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, in the interest of time, and we have a 5-page agenda, if you're running unopposed and you just need your one vote, then maybe we leave it alone. Like going down here, Kathleen Patton, who's not here, she's not running against anyone. Veronica Marin is running unopposed. Howard Benjamin is running unopposed. Mr. Ackerman is running unopposed. We don't have any objection, and just hear from the contested seats?
Yes.
Would that be okay? Because we have 5 questions.
Yes.
And Mr. Jacob Lynn is running unopposed. John Henry's running unopposed. So just in the interest of time, and plus, given the fact that if you guys just vote for yourselves once, that you'll win the election with one vote, we can just debate the contested seats.
Yes.
So does that do it, Mr. Lynn? Or we?
Yes, it does.
All right. So then, what we're going to do to make it fair and balanced is I have 4 questions for the candidates. Each candidate can come up and answer the question. What we'll do is we have the Doris Anderson, John Camara election. We have the Brian Edelman, Jeremy Pessoa, Jeanette Hopp election, and then we have Adriana and Rocio Rodriguez and Charles Robbins. So the first question is going to be for Doris and John. And then we can switch off. Doris, since you went first last time, John, you can go first this time, just because that's fair. List any community service or volunteer work you are currently doing or have done in the past. So, John, the podium's yours. And if you want to sit out in the audience, that's, or whatever you want to do. It's, okay, whatever you want to do. So the question is, list any community service or speak on any community service or volunteer work you are currently doing or have done in the past, Mr.
Okay,
Camara?
Currently, I am working with the Valley Food Bank, which is in Pacoima, and we bring in a lot of food for different projects in Van Nuys or various areas of Los Angeles. In the past, I've done some work at St. Elizabeth in previous times. That's the first one.
Yeah, if that's all you got, then that's fine.
Pretty much. Like I said, we work with public events for city and state officials. We vendored various events, so help out with that.
Very good. Doris Anderson, do you need me to repeat the question?
Please.
Speak of any community service or volunteer work you are currently doing or have done in the past.
Well, what I'm currently doing now is because of the youth have confronted me and asking me to do a march, to organize a march, and I'm highly functional in my church, which is right there in United Methodist, and I volunteer sack launchers at the church.
Very good.
Thank you.
Brian Edelman. You got the question?
Yes, it is.
List any community service or volunteer work you are currently doing or have done in the past.
In the past, I've worked with outpatient mental health facilities to help out to certain aspects with their lives. Considering I do have a background in psychology.
Very good. Thank you. Jeremy Pessoa.
So in the past, I've volunteered with Operation Christmas Child, which is an organization that gives Christmas gifts to children in need, and I worked in a factory environment packing shoe boxes. And I've also volunteered my time with Feed the Children, helping with packing food and stuff like that. And I volunteered with my local church as well. And that's about it.
Very good. Thank you. Jeanette Hopp.
Okay. We pretty much covered that all. But, okay. Forgive me 1 second, I gotta find it, I just didn't know I was going to do that.
You could speak extemporaneously.
Just 1 second, because it's here, you know. I'll put it in between the pages of my business.
Off the top. Maybe just
Thank you.
like off the top of your head.
Oh, hell, I know it, I'll just try to remember it from
Anything
memory. Okay,
service?
as I stated earlier, 25 years for LA Unified in various positions, the school site council as a president for 5 years, the district advisory council as the chairperson for 3 different areas in the valley for 12 years, the inaugural member of the Parent Collaborative, which I helped establish and was an executive officer for 15 years. Altogether volunteered for LA Unified for 25 years because I do care about education, as does Stacy. I have also been working with the city and the county for elections, which will now be combined as of this election, but previously it was separate. And I've done that altogether for about 34 years, and more than 24 of those have been as an inspector, the rest were as a clerk on the board. I will be working this upcoming election. What else have I done? Oh goodness. Volunteered at my son's school over the years, and I did that long after they all graduated as well. What else do I do? Of course, I'm here, and I've been here going on 4 years. 3 months from now, it'll be 4 years. And I know there's more, but I can't think of it, so you'll forgive me.
Very good, very good.
Now
The Rocio Rodriguez, Charles Robbins election. Charles, you want to go first this time? List any community service or volunteer work you are doing or are currently
Mr. Chair,
or have done in the past.
may I suggest we table this until Ms. Rodriguez arrives?
Or what we were gonna do is just let her speak when she gets here.
Yes, I need to get this on.
All right, sounds good.
Mr. Robbins?
Thank you. I'm currently a president for the Association of Fundraising Professionals Greater San Fernando Valley Chapter. We're
Say that again,
an
wait.
association
Association of,
that, it's a long
I know,
title.
say it again.
It's the Association of Fundraising Professionals Greater San Fernando Valley Chapter. And I'm also a board member of the LGBT Center in the Desert. And those are my two volunteer commitments other than the VNNC.
Very good. Adriana, did you want to speak on behalf of Rocio, or just wait? We'll just ask her these questions when she gets here as
I didn't
well.
know she was running for anything.
Okay?
I didn't know she was postulating for anything.
She threw her hat into the ring, so, cool. All right, question number 2, briefly describe why you would like to serve on the VNNC. So back to the Doris Anderson, John Camara election. Doris, you're up first here. Doris Anderson, briefly describe why you would like to serve on the VNNC.
Briefly, because I think I will be an asset in this community, and I would like to organize, marches for the youth, which I've been approached by, and religiously, that's what I'm about, is religious. Maybe can put it in the youth minds to think a higher pace, a higher, the other than themselves.
Talk about God.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that.
No, you can, it's okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're the religious, you got it.
John Camara, briefly describe why you would like to continue to serve on the VNNC.
You can sit there and say.
Yeah, make it easy.
All right. I'll briefly describe why I'd like to continue on the board as a VNNC member. One being I am a San Fernando Valley native. I see a lot of evolution in the San Fernando Valley. I've had family live in the San Fernando Valley. I've had relatives work in the San Fernando Valley, especially Van Nuys. And I would love to see Van Nuys continue to flourish as it has been in so many years, including the whole valley as well. And I want to continue the fight for a better community. And it's not an easy job. It's a lot of work and sweat. And I consider myself an emeritus so far, and I want to continue. Thank you.
Brian Edelman, briefly describe why you would like to serve on the VNNC.
Well, just to be able to bring to the table some other items that I actually initially had, coming into this race, and just to be able to effectuate some change here in the community.
Fair enough, thank you, Mr. Edelman. Jeremy.
I want to commit my time and experience towards projects that will change and improve our community for the better. Specifically, I want to join the committee on sustainability. Sustainability is important to me, and I believe that we can make a difference. I want to partner with other individuals from other councils to come up with effective strategies for reducing our footprints. I believe transformation begins with community-led initiatives, and I want to be a part of it.
Jeanette Hott.
Okay. Why do I want to do this? Well, I mentioned that earlier, and now that I found this, I will see if I can find it again. Okay. As I mentioned, I'm a passionate person, and I care about this community. Having lived here for 40 years, I pretty much know a lot about this community. I, like John, have watched the metamorphosis, and it has changed considerably and not necessarily for the better. We have a serious problem with graffiti. We have a serious problem with homelessness, although some of that has been cleaned up lately. Thanks, guys. We have a serious problem with the proliferation of illegal pot shops, which many of them have been closed, but we still have way too many. We have the sex trafficking and prostitution, of which there is a very serious problem on Sepulveda Boulevard, and it alternates between there and Van Nuys. And I want to change that. And I was one of the very big backers of Nuys, who is very strong in her feelings of wanting to do the same things, and she's been working very hard on doing that. So I want to continue doing what I've been doing and to help her and this community, because I live here, I've been living here all these years, and I will die in Van Nuys. So I care about the community.
Not hopefully soon.
All right. Charles Robbins.
You know, I have the good pleasure of working with hundreds of nonprofit organizations throughout the San Fernando Valley, and I feel that I can represent their interests and their advocacy efforts as a board member, and be able to be a reasoned voice for the funding decisions that this board often faces.
Very good. All right, question number 3. What specific skills do you possess that would help the VNNC achieve its mission to serve as advisors to city decision makers and help to improve the quality of life for those who reside within the VNNC boundaries? All right, Doris, I think you went last. You went first last time. John Camara.
Yes. Specific skills that I have is that I'm a very good communicator, and I've worked hand in hand with local elected and state elected officials, and I hope I can continue to keep that relationship going for the next 2 years.
Ms. Anderson.
Thank you again. Well, the skills I do have, I am a singer, and studying opera right now, and I want to volunteer for the high school, but they took me in another era, and so I'm hoping to teach children how to sing and things like that, and then it will open doors so they can do other things.
Very good. All right, let's switch it up in the Hop Pessoa Edelman race. Jeanette Hop, what specific skills do you possess to help the VNNC achieve its mission?
I learned how to be a good treasurer. As most of the board members know, the previous council didn't do a very good job of doing all their paperwork, and I went back, correct me if I'm wrong, was it 8 or 12 years? I can't remember. Anyway, a very long time, and had to bring all of that forward. I had to redo it all. I did get some help from George and from Howard, thank goodness, because if I did not, it would have been impossible. And then went forward with that. In addition to that, I take shorthand, as you can see. So I can be currently, as I am the secretary, although I prefer treasurer. I like the control of money. No, but seriously, I am able to do that as well. With all the years of volunteerism that I have done and how much I know about this community, I'm capable of helping in many areas. And I love it with all my heart, and I want to see it go back to the prominence that it once held. This is the Civic Center. This should be a tremendous area. It should look good. It should show the pride that we have in it. And it upsets me no end to see when kids graffiti on the wall, on the walk by the police department, and everywhere you look. And I have my son's girlfriend, make it real quick, who works at Starbucks up the street across from Jack in the Box on Van Nuys, and I forget the cross street. It's right across the street from that Champs school. Yeah, it's just north of Van Nuys, and they had put not shrubbery, the what do you call that? So plants that grow on the wall, like police departments thinking this was the real stuff. And I told her, that's probably not going to deter it, and sure enough, they graffitied over that. I mean, it is so sad. I was going to take a picture and bring it in to show you. I was so upset. So this is the kind of stuff we want to stop. I mean, if we can't stop that, we're never going to have a decent-looking community, one in which we can all take pride. And we need to do what Ms. Anderson wants to do and stop the youth from getting into trouble and direct them in a direction that will be worthwhile and let them learn, because if we don't have any youth that can take over our position someday, who's gonna run the country? I mean, what a scary thought.
Right. Yay, Jeanette.
Jeremy Pessoa, what specific skills do you possess that will help the VNNC achieve its mission?
All right, so I have interpersonal skills and communication skills, business leadership skills. I'm currently working on my Master's of Business Administration, and so I feel like I have a lot of research skills that I could bring to the table. I have past leadership skills. I served as the president of the Student Ambassadors at TCC, and I also served as an interim president of Sigma Tau Delta at Texas Christian University. And I am accountable, and once I commit myself to a job, I'm committed to seeing it through to the end, and I can be counted on. I'm a dependable individual.
Very good. Brian Edelman.
Thank you. While not having as much time in Van Nuys as the incumbent, I have been here for about 10 years. I also was a HOA president for the building and condo complex that I was in, and was quite forward-thinking in several items about the building, which of course doesn't quite exactly translate overall to a city, but can definitely bring some items to the table that would translate to that. So I do have some lower level experience, not to mention having several ties to the community and businesses as well, not to just to Van Nuys, but as well into North Hills. So that is what I expect to bring to the table.
Very good. All right, and Mr. Robbins, you haven't answered question 3, the specific skills.
Specific skills like conflict resolution skills, leadership skills, the ability to hold my demeanor, and to have the ability to listen and understand and communicate and advocate.
Very good.
Organize.
All right. We have one more question, and then that will conclude our council candidate forum. Which position are you looking to fill, and how do you qualify for that seat? So with Doris Anderson and John Camara, that is the religious seat. Doris, you're up first. Ms. Anderson, how do you qualify for the religious seat?
How do I qualify for the religious seat? I believe, with the help of my pastor, that I qualify as someone who can have passion and compassion and the love of people and the love of the members of my church, and it overflows into the community, and that's what I believe I'm qualified for the position. Thank you. You're welcome.
John Camara, how do you qualify for the religious seat?
I believe I qualify for the religious seat because I work closely with the local churches and religious leaders, as well as other nonprofit groups. I keep my options open to other community supporters, as well as a Chamber of Commerce, etc.
Very good. Let's start with Brian Edelman. The seat you guys are running for is resident from Zone 1, bounded from the railroad tracks north of Satakoy Street, Van Nuys Boulevard, Van Owen Street, and the 405 freeway. So how do you qualify for that?
Well, I've been what would be considered a stakeholder for about 10 years now. I've owned the condominium near where Sepulveda is, actually on Sherman Road. So I believe that's how I would qualify to be in here.
Very good. Mr. Pessoa.
All right, so I'm a neighbor to Brian, so I'm qualified With the same reasons, I've been a resident of Zone 1 for over 5 years now, and I care about where I live, and I care about my neighbors and the community, and I want to improve it because it looks like I'm going to be here for a while, and so it's better to get up off my seat and do something about it than keep hoping for changes. And I want to get involved so I can, feel that I'm making a difference and not just always complaining, but actually contributing to a solution. So I feel like I'm qualified because I am a resident and a member of that zone.
And Jeanette.
Okay. Well, he just said a lot of what I was going to say. Already mentioned it, resident for 40 years on Santa Cruz Street, Zone 1, between Haskell and Sepulveda. I have mentioned all the reasons why I want to be here, but that is what qualifies me is I'm smack dab in the area where I have been living for the last 40 years, and that should make me qualified. Thank you.
Yes.
Very good. And Mr. Robbins, your official seat is nonprofit. How do you qualify?
I am the paid vice president of the Village Family Services. The Village Family Services owns property in Van Nuys and has thousands of clients in the Van Nuys area.
Very good. All right, so then what we're going to do is go down the list for closing statements, and then that will conclude our candidate forum. When Rocio Rodriguez gets here, we'll just bring her up and ask her all the questions just going down the list, and that seems fair enough. So, John Camara, your closing statement, please, sir.
Yes, my closing statement for this office would be that we focus on Van Nuys, but we reach out to other members in the community outside of Van Nuys because we can't do it alone. We all need each other. And I just want to end that at saying I've had the experience. I've worked with Valley Food Bank. We've had quite a few events here, and if it wasn't for myself and some other stakeholders, without mentioning too many names, I probably wouldn't be here, sitting here. But once again, I want to continue to fight the cause for Van Nuys, that we can clean up graffiti, we can fight the crime, work with the police department, and make Van Nuys the city it could become. Thank you.
Very good. Doris Anderson, your closing statement, please, miss.
Thank you again. I must tell you that I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan, and been plagued by, not plagued, but know what a lot of environment upbringing is. And I believe, I've been here almost 2 years in June 3rd, in Van Nuys, and I believe that I can make a difference. I have made a difference in my own community in Detroit, Michigan, and what I would do is like counsel people. No, I do not have a degree, but somehow I would counsel people and tell them there's a better way. And I was a minister's wife before, and that's my expertise. And I believe that I can do something very good here. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Doris. All right, closing statements in the second contest. Let's start with Jeremy this time. Jeremy Pessoa.
All right, well, I would like to thank the board for inviting me here tonight. Thank you for recognizing me and letting me speak. I just want to say that it's been a pleasure, and I would ask for all of your votes, and I won't let you down if I'm elected, and I'm excited to serve this community and make it a better place. Thank you.
Very good. Brian Edelman.
Again, competitor said, thank you for recognizing me and hearing me out this evening. And nice to be able to see the full board and recognize everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. And Geneva.
Okay, closing statements. Didn't give it any thought to his taking notes. Okay, just as I stated earlier, that I really would like to continue trying to complete the tasks that I have begun. You hate to start something and not finish it. You want to take it through fruition. And I know that I have, because I'm a passionate person, angered some people in the past because of the manner in which I conducted my votes. But I will tell you, it was for the good of the community as a whole. I never did something that was going to just benefit myself, but rather my entire community, not just my little part of the neighborhood, either the entire part of VNNC. So I care a lot about it. I've worked closely with the police department, not quite as closely as Penny has, though. I wish I had done what she's been doing, but I have worked with them in many, many areas, Baker Vegas events in the past, and with the San Fernando Police Department, that was not in our neighborhood, I helped them too. And I've also done, I forgot that volunteer work, darn. Just done a lot of volunteerism in my neighborhood, as I mentioned, the elections and so on. So my thing is to continue to improve our community, trying to bring it back to the status that it once held, and try to get rid of the problems that we are so plagued with, that we've been trying to combat for so long. And if we have a good number of board members who bring to the table various and sundry new ideas, we may be able to actually tackle some of those problems and actually solve them. It would be nice. Thank you.
Very good. And a closing statement from Mr. Charles Robbins.
Considering that we have a 4-page agenda, I just want to thank the board for the ability to have served, and I look forward to being able to be of service.
All right, very good. All right, well, with that being our candidates forum, let's all give everyone a round of applause for participating in that. And without further ado, we will jump into the meat and potatoes of this meeting, but we do have some public comment cards here, so let's just go through these and have our general board meeting for the month of March. Candido, you're on top.
Can the ladies go first?
Let's see who's second. David Kane, America's Healthy Kids. All right, how are you, sir? Now, were you going to ask for funding for another month? You're introducing yourself, and then, or are you just going to brief us on what you're doing?
I just want to brief you on what I'm doing.
All right, a briefing without a funding request. All right.
This is pretty crazy. The only neighborhood council I've been to had 4 people in it. So I walked in tonight, it's like, wow.
Well, yes.
Big neighborhood council. So my name is David Kane. I'm the executive director of America's Healthy Kids. And what we've created is a fitness event for children called the Kids Fitness Challenge. And I sent out a whole bunch of emails.
You're the bouncy house guy?
A week ago. Yes,
Okay.
kind of. But it's more physical than bouncy house.
All right.
It's more of a fitness challenge, to be perfectly frank, exactly what it's called. So I decided I'd come and see you guys and let you know what we do. We've had a huge response. I mean, this is pretty amazing, the response we got off of that email. We've booked like 3 events already. So basically our whole game plan is to get kids moving. And with the ultimate goal of filling one of these empty spaces along this boulevard with a new center. And I believe that can happen. And the idea is if kids are moving, they're getting exercise. I've been doing this for 12 years now, and I've seen if it's fun, they'll come. So I'd really like to come back another time when I could be on the agenda and explain what I do. So please just tell me the procedure, and I'll be happy to come back.
Perfect. Just email me back at the executive committee, and we'll get you on the April agenda and figure out a way to work together.
I want to invite you to the education committee meeting. It's the last Thursday of this month.
The last Thursday?
Yeah, and if you email him, he'll forward it, and I'll give you the information on that.
Okay, and so that's at the VNNC?
It will probably be in a building either here, in a room in this building, or in the VNNC library, which is right there.
Okay.
It'll be in this area.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. All right. Richard, I'm gonna wait until the committee chair reports for your committee chair thing. That's item 7. We're just in item 4 for public comment. Miriam Fogler, come on down.
Public comment?
You get 2 minutes. Mr. Ackerman is our vice parliamentarian, is gonna be on top of that. So if he tells you to shush, then shush.
Okay, I noticed there's gonna be some new faces on this council, and I think the ones that've been on here, I think they've achieved a great deal. And this council came from a deficit, thanks to in part to Jeanette Hopp. She put this thing back together again, and now she's doing the secretarial work, because she has to do that. And it's a pleasure having her and all these wonderful people on here that are doing such a great job. And I appreciate that they thought about getting the video conference. I know it's on the agenda, but thank you. I want to see that the sidewalk here would be cleaned up. You know, they need to be cleaned up. The sidewalks, the streets here need to be cleaned up. We need to have need everything looking nice and clean. So I think that the merchants here would appreciate that. I think that would bring in more business. And the idea is that I like the candidates that are running for office, you know, the one, Bernie Sanders and Trump came up with the idea that we need to bring our businesses back, and I appreciate them both. And I hope that we can do that. And I'm hoping maybe, who knows, Hillary might wake up, decide to do it the same too. Thank you.
Thank you, Miriam. Next up, Miriam.
No, Donna.
Miriam, you don't get to speak twice if you fill out 2 public comment cards.
Oh, that's okay. I put.
Okay, so you can be Miriam right now. You're Miriam as recognized as Donna. Is that Donna Pierman?
Yeah, I have put in.
Okay, Donna, you're recognized.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Donna, you have a second one in here too.
Oh. Okay.
You guys aren't tricking me.
No, that's other numbers.
Oh, okay, very good. We'll sort it
I put
out.
in for M, not
All right.
public comment, if you read it correctly.
Donna,
So anyway, the seat of treasurer is very, very important, and this is something that the person has to work really hard. They have to keep on bringing in the reports over and over again when they say they don't have it, and then they have to go way back, try to find things that were like a month ago that they're pretending like they didn't see, and there's only one person that seems to be able to keep up with that, and that's Jeanette Hopp. So this, I'm sorry, the 2 other ones are probably great candidates, but this neighborhood council will go to